Hey friends, welcome back. And welcome to this week's reading vlog. We will hopefully be reading some really good books while doing some fun fall activities, so grab a cozy drink and settle in, because here we go. It is Wednesday, my dudes, and I just got out of my first class of my second session of pottery. If you don't know, I started taking ceramics class, and I am just in love with it. I fell in love with it in high school, and this is my second 8-week session, and I went from beginner to intermediate this time, and I've been really nervous that I wouldn't be like up to snuff, but I am happy to report that I am definitely in the right class. I feel good, and the class went really well. I learned how to throw like plates and like really big bottomed things. Like I threw a really big bowl this week and a really big serving platter, and then a big cauldron mug. Like if you know, I threw a cauldron mug in the past, but it became very small because I didn't account for shrinkage in the kiln. So I just threw another bigger one, like much bigger. It might be too big. I don't know. We're gonna have to see when it comes out of the kiln. But I threw 3 successful pieces today, and I'm very excited about it. I didn't take any photos or anything or videos. I'm so sorry. But by the time that I remembered, I had already wrapped them up, and I was not about to unwrap and risk like messing the shape up. So sorry, but you're gonna have to wait until later. I did get back this little mug that I threw and I painted on. It's really cute. Look at how adorable. I kind of think that she's cutie. I did this last session, and then I also have my little pumpkins. They're little tea lights. Look at how absolutely adorable. Do you see this? That's the baby. And then I have a big one, and they have a hollow bottom, so they will light up when I put a tea light in them. Like, how absolutely adorable. Like, I'm in love with them, Your Honor. And then this is that striped one that I told you about last time. The colors just didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to turn out, so I don't like it, but whatever, it's cute. But I think that this one's super cute, and the pumpkins are adorable, and the other mugs that you've seen in the previous reading vlogs, like, we use them all the time. I love my cauldron mug. I love that yellow checkered mug. So some wins, some losses. We're learning every single day, and that's the point. But we're parked outside the coffee shop, of course. It is much later than I thought it was going to be, because I did stay later for open studio hours. It is like 3:30 now, and guess what day it is? October 22nd, which is mine and Caleb's 3-year wedding anniversary. Wow. The plan was to go out to eat to this really, really nice and hard to get into Thai food place. However, I did get out of my class really late, and this is a restaurant that does not take reservations, and you have to be there right at 5 when they open, or like you'll be waiting for hours. Caleb's obviously working today and a normal length day, like he couldn't take a half day today. So in addition to the fact that Avi has already been home alone and boxed like since 9 a.m. and both of us love her so much that if we had to get home and leave her alone for the second half of the day too, like we both would have a bad time. Like we want to enjoy our time. And knowing that Avi is alone again for the second time all day, you know, it's just not the move. So we're actually going to get takeaway today. We're going to get some Indian food because we did go to an Indian restaurant for our rehearsal dinner for our wedding anyways. Like it makes sense. We're going to get Indian takeaway. We're going to have some wine, maybe some drinks. I don't know. But we're just going to have like a cozy night in, and then we're gonna go to that Thai food place probably sometime next week because Caleb has some shorter work days on the horizon, and we can get there right at 5 on a day that he can take a half day. So we will obviously still celebrate and go out to a really nice dinner because we deserve it and we love each other a lot. So we will do that, but today just, you know, it just didn't work out, and that's fine. We love Indian takeaway, so I'm excited about that. In the meantime, I think I'm going to pop into Amelia's and see what they have for their loaf of the day, as well as see if they have any like fun snacks. I have not eaten a single bit of food today, and it's 3:30. I've had 2 protein shakes because that's all that I had to grab in the morning. So I need to be better. I need to grab a snack. And once we're back home, we will chit chat about what books we're reading for this video because I'm really excited. And I'm also really excited to see Avi and take her for a really long walk when we get home. So we'll be back. Hi, welcome home. We made a couple stops on the way. Avi is here. She's very excited. My sourdough just popped out of the toaster. Let's go. That's the sourdough that I made because I make sourdough now, and it's really tasty, and it's been so fun to learn. But I did stop and get a little half loaf of Amelia's bread. It's rosemary and olive. is their Wednesday flavor scent, same thing. I also got some local Korean pears, which I'm really excited about. Caleb wanted to use these for his kimchi that he's learning how to make, and he will be very excited that I found some Korean pears. I got some wine and a small little bottle of Prosecco for the celebrations, some lime tortilla chips, some bougie crackers, because I also got some things for like a little baby charcuterie board. I don't know if we'll actually like do it or not, but I got some brie, but it's Halloween brie. Apparently, I think it's like ash colored is what it says. I don't know. It was cute. It had bats on it. Chocolate covered cherries, of course. Summer sausage. And cheeses, of course. Some other fun things that I got because I love an apple butter. Apple butter. Wow. I can't wait to put some of it on maybe on the little butt of toast that I just toasted. Maybe we'll do that. Because I did also get some tuna salad that I'm going to put on the large piece of bread that I just toasted. And then, I don't know, I got some cavatelli. I've never had it before. I thought it looked fun. Avi's anxiously awaiting her walk, so I am going to put away the cold items, and we're going to put some tuna salad on one piece of sourdough and then apple butter on another. Does that go together? No. Is it going to be tasty? Absolutely. I desperately needed some protein, so. It's good, Avi. All right, but what's up with this apple butter? That's the real question. Oh my God. If you don't know this trick, then allow me to mother you for a moment. If you can't get a lid off, put a rubber band around the lid. It'll immediately come off, I promise you. I promise. Wow, I'm so excited. I'm so glad I got that. I almost didn't. I'm just gonna like dip it in there. Oh my God. 10 out of 10. Would recommend to a friend. Let me finish my snack and then we'll talk about books. All right? Hello? Hi. That was Sammy. Okay, I have been adequately fed and I feel better now. I am currently steeping a tea, a London Fog, in my new mug. The vibe for this one was sort of like childhood doodles. I think I could have done better, but I kind of like it. It's kind of cute and it works. That's the point. So I'm gonna let this steep. We're gonna take Avi for a walk here in a moment. Right after, do you see both of them? Avi's on the ground, Juno's on the table. They both are very needy at the moment. I want to tell you what books I am reading right now. One of them you will already know because it's been carrying over all month. It is Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. The Hobb Sob, Robin Hobbin. I am on page 254. Moving along. It doesn't look like I'm that far. I've been reading it. I'm having a great time. I'm really loving it. Next one that I picked up on audio this morning. I've been scared of it. I've been so scared of it, and I am happy to report that I am reading We Love You Bunny by Mona Awad. If you know anything about me, Bunny is one of my favorite books of all time. So this book has scared me because I didn't think that we necessarily needed another bunny book, like in the bunny verse. I was happy to leave everything where it was. I really liked the ambiguity. I liked the like really crazy, strange horror elements that we got. Everything was perfect. Bunny was a great book, and I was really scared to pick up another book in the world. I just thought that it would sort of diminish what I love so much about Bunny. And then if I hated this, then it would taint how I feel about Bunny, is why I've been so scared about it. But this is actually sort of like a prequel in a way. I mean, it definitely like takes place after Bunny, but we are following sort of like a retrospective story of how the bunnies came to be. The bunnies, let me fill you in, are a group of girls that are in like this like kind of hive mind culty friend group in this MFA program. This MFA, Masters of Fine Arts, is in a like I think like an Ivy League, really hard to get into program, and all of these girls got into it. They found each other there, and in Bunny, our main character gets invited to be in their like off-campus culty friend group, and they do these like really crazy like rich culty things that, you know, go kind of wild. And now I am actually very excited to be reading We Love You Bunny, because I don't know how far I am. Let me see. I bought the audiobook on Libro FM. If you don't know what Libro FM is, aside from Libby, it is the place to get your audiobooks. This isn't sponsored, but I'm telling you,
that you should use them, because every time you use a credit or you buy credits or you buy an audiobook, it goes directly to independently owned bookstores instead of big corporations. We need to try to be conscious about spending our money towards companies and towards organizations that we want to stick around. So Libro FM is really great. I do have a referral code down in the description that you can get, I think, your first book for free. I don't know if that's true. There is a referral code down in the description that you can use though. But let's see how far we are. Okay, it looks like I've so far read only 25 pages this morning, which is enough to give me kind of a gist of what we're doing. And I am excited about it. I am now less scared, because I now understand that, at least so far, this isn't necessarily going to be like Bunny revamped or like the same kind of situation, but with new characters. Like, we're following the same people that we had in Bunny, but getting every side of the story, sort of. And it's eerie, it's creepy. I will say there is some pretty graphic already in these few pages, imagery of self-harm, which surprised me and actually made me a little unwell for a moment. But yeah, I now know that, and going forward, I will proceed with caution. So during Avi's walk, I will be popping We Love You Bunny back into my ear holes, and we will be listening to that. I also read the first couple chapters of The Lamb by Lucy Rose this morning. This is a doozy immediately. This is definitely a horror. It's like cannibalism. Our main character is a young girl who lives with her mother in the woods. They basically just kind of like live their lives. They sit around and wait for strays to come by, which are people who are lost in the woods. And pretty much they just like lure them in, or they come in on their own accord because it's like bad weather and they see this like cozy cabin and they're like, oh great, a place to rest. No, they're gonna die there and be eaten. And it's very graphic immediately. It was very alarming and I was not prepared. I also, listen, I'm unsure about what I want to do with The Lamb, because this is a horror buddy read that I am doing with my Patreon book club, but how I feel about this book, and I said this in my Discord this morning, oh my god, this isn't even on. I've just been using this as a prop. I'd never turned this on.
I'm so sorry. Okay, sorry editing Sydney, have fun fixing all of that audio. Anyways, I don't really know what I want to do with The Lamb, because how this book is set up, we are immediately knowledgeable of the situation that these women are in. There's no work for us to get to the point where we are like, well, what really is going on in this cabin in the woods? Like, what are their methods? Like, blah, 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 blah. It is immediately told to us what they're doing and what is happening. And since there's no like buildup of that fact, I do feel like the overall plot is very obvious, especially from the synopsis. Yeah, like I'm just worried that I'm gonna be bored, because I know, like I feel like I know this story. It's basically like in the synopsis, this isn't spoilers or anything because it's in the synopsis, but one of the strays that come by, I think our younger main character, her name's Margot. I think that Margot is going to become very fond of one of these strays, and she's going to start to realize that what they're doing with all these people is actually pretty messed up. And then she's going to try to spare that stray's life and help them get away. Maybe she's going to run away herself, and probably be a lot of power struggles between Mama and Margot. And from what I'm gathering is that it's actually pretty sad. Like throughout the Discord chat, like it's been like talked about that it's sad and just like gory. Just sad gore is what this is. And I don't know how I feel about it, because like I don't know if reading all of that will be worth it for me, which sucks because it is in my 25 books in 2025 list that I want to get to. And I love this cover. I'm literally like, I am obsessed with this cover. I'm gonna try to figure out what I want to do with it this week. But these two are hopefully going to be my priority. But okay, Avi is losing it. She has waited long enough for me to take her outside on a walk. So let's ask her together, shall we? Do you want to maybe go outside? Do you want to maybe go outside? Go potty? You want to maybe go outside for a walk? Oh, yeah. Yeah? Oh, okay. All right, we're going to take her out and probably come back and just clean up the kitchen a little bit. I'm going to keep listening to We Love You Bunny. But I'm so excited to have you here. I also have some fun unboxings to do later. Maybe tomorrow or the next day. We'll figure it out. But yes, We Love You Bunny is happening right now. Let's go.
Back then, what you've been doing now, before the broken skin, and letting your love out, playing the tape again. What? It's such a sorry sound, old shaky monologue, just dragging you around, reaching for reset.
Happy Happy Thursday. Sammy is up and at 'em, feeling good, feeling great. Surprisingly, Caleb said that he likes this mug, like the little doodle childhood mug, more than anything I've made so far, which was kind of funny to hear this morning. Was not expecting that, but I'm excited to do it again, but better, because I was literally just like messing around. I was just wanting to see what would happen with putting glaze on this way, and it ended up being like very pigmented, like exactly what I was looking for. Now I just have to try harder. Do you see him? He's so cute. Wow. He's like a little otter. With his catnip pillow. Okay, so today is going to be an editing day, mostly. I want to split up the editing between today and tomorrow. So I want to get at least the rough edit done today, which I actually don't think will be very hard. I thought that this vlog, last week's vlog, that I'm editing today, this is the one where we went camping and I read Mate, The Har, and The Enchanted Greenhouse. I thought this footage was going to be like 3 hours long, but it actually is only an hour and a half, not including all the B-roll though. So, you know, we'll see how it shakes out. But I think that I could get the rough edit done today, which is great news. I have listened to about 50 pages this morning of We Love You Bunny, and I'm on the fence. Yesterday, I was like pleasantly surprised by the narrative and like what it is that we were going to be doing and following. And I still feel optimistic about it, but now being 100 pages in, I just have some conflicting feelings. I do think that it's set up in a very cool way. Like we're getting each bunny, each girl's perspective of how this like cultish group of girls, the bunnies, came to be. And so far, I think we're on the third girl. And it is actually structured kind of cool because we are getting their view of events up to a certain point in the story. But then the last like couple pages of each perspective gets a little bit unhinged and like muddied. Like we don't really know what's going on. Like very unclear. And then it'll cut off abruptly, and then the next girl will take over and be like, that's not how it really went. Like, let's stop fucking lying. And then it'll back up just a little bit and then like carry on the story that way from a different perspective. And now that this is the third time it's happened, I definitely can see Sammy is digging inside the couch. What are you doing, my guy? Okay, anyways, now that it's happened 3 times, I can definitely sense when we're about to have a point of view switch, or at least like a narrative switch. And I do like that. I think that it's a clever way to play into the like unhinged, unreliable narrators sort of vibe while also giving us an actual like account of what's going on. So I do think that it is smartly constructed so far. I do like that. I just hope that I am engaged for this entire book because it is kind of long, but 100 pages into that this morning, I wanted to do a little unboxing with you guys. I'm really excited about it. Let me hook you into my sweater. Is that too thick? Does that work? No, that's gonna work. Okay, cool. This book was sent to me from Tor, which I'm so excited about. It is Brigands and Bread Knives. That's so hard to say. By Travis Baldry. It will be out in November 2025. Yeah. This is the third book in the Legends and Latte series. We are following, I think, the bookseller from the second book. Well, so the second book is technically a prequel. So publication order is Legends and Lattes, Bookshops and Bone Dust, and now Brigands and Bread Knives. But Bookshops and Bone Dust is actually technically a prequel to Legends and Lattes. Did you get all that? Oh, this one has a little map. That's fun. But these are the other 2 books right here. Obviously not in color, but those are the vibes. Publication order is here and then here, but story-wise, it is here then here. I love both of them so much. I think Bookshops and Bone Dust is actually my favorite of the 2 so far. I think I would say that confidently. I mean, I love both of them. They were both 5 stars, which makes me very excited to have this. So I don't know when I will be squeezing this in, but I'm very, very excited to have it in my hands. Then we have my 2026 bullet journal I have chosen. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know that I posted a poll of what design I should choose, and I did not listen to any of you. There were 4 options, I think, and 2 of them were a navy blue book, and then another one was, oh, I think it was like a tan or like something like that. It was a field mouse. And then this one that I chose is actually sort of like orange and like very like autumnal. I'm so excited about it because it's actually my birth flower, which is fun. Look at how pretty. Oh, wow. Aw, this is new. I get my bullet journals every single year since college from Archer and Olive, and it's just fun to see them like continue to grow and do bigger things. I did get a sticker set. Okay, we'll talk about it. Hold on. Wow, how cute. Every year I'm just like, wow, what a time to be alive. Aw, it says Forest Findings. Wow, they're actually so much prettier than I thought they would be. I don't know why. I thought they would be like kind of small, but they're like paper texture and like stunning. Wow, there's two. It's the same thing. Very fun. Okay, and now the main event. Hold on. Don't tell me I need to get up and get a knife. A knife! If you don't get that reference, then you're too young for me. What do you have? A knife. Never let Vine die, people. This is also new. It's a little slide out. Normally it has a lid. Ooh, the color's really pretty. I'm happy I went with this one. So the other designs, there was one with like a bunch of ferns and like foliage, and I really liked it, except it was a little bit busy, and again, it was navy blue. The design that won in the poll was actually a fox design. There was like two foxes kind of chasing each other in a circle. Very cute design, but again, it was navy blue. I don't like navy blue. I say as I'm wearing a navy blue sweater. I think it's different if it's clothing. If it's on me, like I think that blue just like it works with me and my skin and my face and hair and eyes, but I don't like navy blue in my like everyday life. I don't know if that makes sense. Yes, 100%. This was the right choice. This was for sure the right choice. Oh, she's stunning. Wow. She's beautiful. Look at her. So it's chrysanthemum flowers, and that is the November flower. My birthday's November 18th. Ready for this crack? Oh, Mike's here. The inside, of course, has a little like foiled interior, and it's just a blank notebook. Wow. It has two little dangly bookmarks, which is perfect because I use it in two different parts of the notebook at all times. I have the current month calendar on one bookmark and then the daily to-do list on another bookmark. So it's always worked out really well, and I just love it. I love setting up my bullet journal for the next year. I usually do the same setup every year. I do little tweaks, but I am a creature of habit and I just love it. I'm really excited about it. This was the right choice. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I'm gonna put these stickers inside here. That way when I'm ready to start setting it up, I will have them. Okay, cute. This was last year's, and I honestly would have bought this one again if they had it. I actually looked to see if anyone was selling it anywhere, like on a resale, whatever, just because I love a gallery wall so much, as evidenced by my growing gallery wall. But obviously this was just last year's design, and so that's the vibe. I'm excited. This year was my favorite setup that I've ever done, and I'm excited to do it again. It just worked. It worked so well. I love it. And I've done so good at like actually keeping up with it. So, you know, I'll do a flip through at the end of the year. But okay, very fun. What time is it? 10:18. I plan on editing and reading, and then I wanted to probably do a quick workout, maybe in the early afternoon. So maybe get a couple hours of editing in right now and then see where we're at. Because when I'm editing, it definitely like you get sucked into a hole and you forget that the world exists for a while. So that's what we're gonna go do. I'll check back in later.
Reaching for reason to begin, watching the sunset.
Big thread.
Front porch cigarette.
She's right behind me, isn't she? She is begging for a afternoon walk, so we're gonna go do that here in a moment. But wanted to just update you. It is 3 p.m. just like that. That's how editing days go. But I am happy to report that I did get the rough edit done, as well as the like little beginning intro that I have been doing on my vlogs, like the little like B-roll of like what to expect in this video, like a couple like cutie vibey scenes with the music. I love doing that. I think it's cute. But I'm gonna clock out for the day. I think that I did most of the heavy lifting today. Tomorrow I will finish editing it. I just have to do color correcting, add music, and then like add whatever text I want on the screen during the B-roll, which there will be a lot in this vlog because during camping I was just being present. I wasn't like vlogging, but I was shooting B-roll. So I'll just do some text over screen for some of the things in that video. But yeah, I'm happy that I got that much done, and I'm glad that I am like done for the day. Tonight, I think we're actually going out to eat with our friend group and then walking over to the conservatory in the city. They're doing like a haunted conservatory night, and we have no idea what to expect, but there is like a less scary part from like 5 to 7, and then a more scary part from 7 to 9, and we're gonna go to the scary part. It's a small conservatory, so I don't really think that there's gonna be like a lot going on. There can't be people like jumping out at us, right? Like I have no idea. I think I worked last year that it was going on, so we didn't get to go last year. So this year, we're going. Dang it. Kayla will probably be home in a couple hours, so I'm gonna get some reading time in. I think I'm going to listen to We Love You Bunny during Avi's walk, but then I'm craving fantasy, so I am going to pick up Royal Assassin and read that until Caleb gets home, I think. That sounds perfect, actually. I've been getting more and more into the swing of doing these weekly vlogs, and I think that editing them, I just need to like let myself do half of it one day, half of it another day, because I think what sucks sometimes is that if I try to do it all in one day, that whole day just feels like nothing happened except me sitting at the computer. And I really do love doing these longer weekly vlogs. I'm having a great time with them. Don't get me wrong. It does take longer to edit, which doesn't necessarily bother me, but I am figuring out, like this week, I love that I did the rough edit one day and then I'll finish it the next day. That feels more attainable. It feels like now, for at least a few hours left in the work day, I can relax and read and do the fun part of the job. So, yes, I am going to take this sweet little girl out on a walk, and it's going to be grand. It is 55 degrees outside. What a time to be alive. Miss Avi girl, do you want to maybe go outside and go for a walk? Yeah. A big stretch, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, hi. We have some things to discuss. The TBR has changed, and I'm not sorry about it. I do not think that I want to be reading The Lamb right now. I don't know if I really want to read it. I'm just not excited to read it, and I know that if I forced myself to read it, it would just not get a good rating, even if I do end up thinking that it's a good book. So I need to read it when I'm more excited about it or more ready to experience it. So I'm gonna put that back on the back burner, the literal back burner. I picked up another book, but first of all, let me tell you that I've made it to chapter 8, which is page 112 of We Love You Bunny, and it is going the same. I just wanted to let you know that I read more. I feel like that's only like 12 pages or so from the last update. Whatever. I have no new thoughts. I just read a little bit more of it, but I do have some new thoughts on a new book that I started just now. Because I know that when I updated you last, I said, I'm definitely going to be sitting down and reading The Royal Assassin until Caleb got home, and that didn't happen. Strange how these things are never true. I decided to start a short form vlog that I've been wanting to do forever. I, a couple of months ago, put all of my unread books on a spinner wheel. It's over 500 books, which is crazy. But I've been wanting to do some short form vlogs over on Instagram and TikTok, and so I decided to spin that wheel and do the, I have over 500 books on my unread physical TBR. Let's try to get that number down sort of idea. And the spinner wheel, gave me Strange Beasts by Susan J. Morris. I forgot that I owned this, and I simply can't deny this beautiful cover, especially during spooky season. So I started reading this for that vlog, and all of a sudden, I'm on chapter 4, which is page 41. That was a weird noise. I don't know what that was. It sounded like a Bluetooth speaker. This is pitched as Dracula meets Sherlock Holmes, and it's so cozy and also gruesome at the same time, and I'm so excited about it. I was not expecting this at all. I was expecting to get some random book that I wasn't really in the mood for, and I was gonna have to figure it out as I went. But this is the fates have given me this book, and it is kind of exactly the vibe and exactly what I want to read at the moment. I don't know how that happened. It was crazy. But our main character is the daughter of the guy that killed Dracula. and she is what's called a channeler, so she can channel into monsters' minds, and she finds herself getting assigned to a case in Paris with Moriarty's daughter, whose name is Dr. Helena, or Hell. So Sam and Hell are going to Paris to investigate a string of murders, and it's perfect. It's so good immediately. I'm loving the prose. I'm loving the dialogue. I am intrigued by every mystery that has already been presented to me. And I don't know, where has it been? I think that this is book 1 in a series too. I don't know how many books are in the series. I feel like I should know that before I get upset later. Apparently book 2 doesn't come out until March of 2026. It's a beautiful cover. It's good to know that I won't be able to continue the series immediately anyways, and I can just like vibe on this book. So that's really exciting though. That is good information to have. And I suddenly am just reading a lot of books now. But I am definitely putting The Lamb on the back burner. I don't know when I'll come back to it, but not my problem right now. Now, for the rest of the evening, I am actively trying to figure out dinner. We are probably gonna go to a Mexican place that has really good fish tacos that I haven't had in a while. But I am anxiously awaiting a text from my husband, you know him as Caleb, to see when he'll be off work, because now it is 6 o'clock and Avi and I are just anxiously awaiting communication. So maybe we'll get fish tacos before we go to the haunted conservatory, but just me and all my friends hanging out. Yeah. Happy Friday. It's really my Sunday because I work all weekend, so that sucks. But I am currently uploading this week's video, so I won't have to do any work in between my shifts on Saturday night before I go back in on Sunday morning. I hate when I have to do that. That's always a little bit tough to work in between 12-hour shifts. So I'm glad that I got that done. I just have to make a thumbnail, and I'll do that later. I have been reading We Love You Bunny today. I'm up to page 224, which is actually pretty much halfway. It's great news. This is a long book. How many pages is this? Why are all these books so freaking long? We got a lot to say. Yeah, like 477 pages is crazy. I feel like the original Bunny was half this length, which, you know, is what it is. I'm having a complicated relationship with this book because I do, on one hand, still kind of like the ambiguity of what Bunny was and not really understanding what was going on. And even though We Love You Bunny isn't necessarily overtly telling us what is going on, because there still is ambiguity, there still is like suspension of disbelief, there's still magic and fever dreamy things happening. Like, this isn't rooted in reality, you know? Even though it's not necessarily explaining it to a T, it is giving a lot of background and sort of explanation of how it actually came to be, how the bunnies came to be, how the bunny came to be. And I think I like it, but I definitely don't think that it's one that I can binge. It feels like a book that if I took my time with it, I can actually appreciate it, because we're getting every point of view from all of the different girls that were part of the smut salon, the bunnies, but then we're also getting a point of view from one of their creations. And I'm currently in like probably the middle of that point of view. And I think that it's really interesting, especially reading it physically, because there are a lot of capital letters, like capitalizing random words throughout the sentence. Like, I think they're all nouns, and there's like smiley faces and sad faces woven in within the narrative because of who the point of view is from. It's a little bit more like surface level simple, but if you actually think about it, it's like this thing is a creation, and I think you could really do some like deep digging on what Mona Awad is doing with this character and how she is exactly writing their narrative, because the capital letters in and of themselves I think are really, really interesting, and it does make me enjoy it sort of like on a pretentious level. I am not looking forward to going back to the bunny's point of view though. Like, I am enjoying being in this creation's point of view, and I'm worried about where the narrative is exactly going, because it's opened up with someone being kidnapped. I'm not naming names so that in case you don't want to be spoiled at all for anything, you won't be. Someone is kidnapped in the beginning of the book, and I'm really wanting to know how that pans out, because it's like they're kidnapped and then we're going through the backstory of how we got to where we are now, like from the beginning of Bunny up until this now. And I think it is interesting. I am actually enjoying it, But again, it doesn't feel bingeable to me, and I don't really know why. So I think what's going to happen for me is I'm not going to force it. Like, I have read over 110 pages of this book today. My skin's a little bit itchy because I just drank pre-workout. So I'm going to go do a quick workout and continue to listen to it. But then after I'm done working out, I think I'm going to either, depending on what time it is, I mean, I might not have time to read anything else, but I would be done reading this book for the day. I'll probably bring this book to work this weekend. I've been bringing The Royal Assassin, but I'll probably bring this book to work and try to chip away at it whenever I can. Last night I stayed up and read more of The Royal Assassin, and I got to page 297. I wanted to get to page 300, but 297 was like a chapter break, and I was tired. It was like 11:45, so I stopped at the chapter break, obviously, and went to bed. But We Love You Bunny is actually going pretty well. It's weird. It's very strange, like the subject matter and the story, but also like how I'm feeling about it. I don't know, it's a little bit odd. And then The Royal Assassin, I am approaching the midway point, sort of. And Strange Beasts, when I started it yesterday, I have not been able to read anymore, but I have been thinking about it. Like, it is on my mind. I can't believe that wheel, I think I told you about it, I spun the wheel that had my entire owned physical TBR, over 500 books. It gave me Strange Beasts, and I am so excited about it. Exactly what I want to be reading. So again, like, I like this lineup. After I work out, I would probably, I don't know, obviously switch to one of these two, but I'd see which one felt like more the vibe. Otherwise, I do have another movie night scheduled tonight for my Patreon. We're having a Studio Ghibli night. We're going to watch Kiki's Delivery Service, which I'm really excited about. What you didn't see today, because I just didn't film it, I made 2 more sourdough loaves. I retried my cinnamon raisin sourdough, and I think it's going to turn out really good. But I made a classic sourdough loaf and then a cinnamon raisin sourdough loaf. So I could actually bake both of them tonight. In like an hour and a half, they will have been in the fridge for 3 hours. So maybe we can see what they look like. I'm nervous. I'm nervous for that loaf. I put a lot of work into her, you know? Also, can I just show you really quick? I have a little money tree and it has some growth for the first time. Look at her. Wow. Like, so much new growth. She's so pretty. Her name's Cash. I'm just so proud of her. She's doing so well. Okay, I need to stop procrastinating. We're gonna go work out, listen to a little bit more of We Love You Bunny, and gear up for our movie night tonight. Depending on how the rest of the day goes with reading, I might not check in until Monday even. We'll play it by ear a little bit, but don't be surprised if this is the last time that you see me until Monday. Because working 12-hour shifts, you kind of go into a black hole and then you don't come out until you're done with those shifts. So the weekend, like, it doesn't even happen. I like working 12-hour shifts in the sense that, like, I have more days off in the week, but it does make the days that I work at the hospital insanely long. So, you know, it's a give and take. I would rather have the days off though. So it does work for me and who I am as a person. Hello. Avi and I are going to go work out. Wish us luck. We'll be back at some point with some sort of update. Let's go.
Watching the sunset, front porch cigarette with my best friend. You didn't know back then what you know now. Black lines and dominoes, pushing each other down. When all the games run through, with all the players set, I'll still be.
Hi, good morning. Happy Monday. Sammy and I are here in the writing nook, ready to settle in for a little bit. It is almost 2 p.m. Work this weekend wasn't bad. I was actually kind of bored all weekend, which I will take. I will take a boring weekend or boring shift every now and then. Sammy's settling in. What a cutie. I do have some updates for you. Boy, howdy do I. Very quick update is I just listened to the entirety of The Message by Ta-Nehisi Coates pretty much all morning after I finished We Love You Bunny. We Need to Talk. This was my first title by Ta-Nehisi Coates, and I remember talking to Caleb about this author, and it turns out that Caleb has also read something by him, and he really enjoyed it. So I now am excited to come back to him and tell him that I really enjoyed this, and that he should read this, and I should read what he read. I don't remember what Caleb said that he read. Maybe it was just a couple essays by him. The synopsis says that Ta-Nehisi Coates originally set out to write a book about writing in the tradition of Orwell's classic Politics in the English Language, but found himself grappling with with deeper questions about how our stories, our reporting, and imaginative narratives and myth-making expose and distort our realities. And I think that first paragraph in and of itself is really perfectly, I mean, it's a synopsis, so it should like perfectly encapsulate what the book is about. Like, that might be silly, but I can tell that as he was writing, he decided to talk about something different. Like, he decided to change what he was originally going to write about, because the first like little part was actually like really insightful about writing and just like the craft in general, which I was finding very inspiring. And then he kind of switched. There was a sentence at the end of part 1, I think. Geez, Sammy, no, you don't need coffee. Ta-Nehisi also teaches writing, so a lot of this kind of seems like he's talking to one of his favorite classes from a fall semester. And he, at the end of part 1, was saying, during a light moment, I promised you that I would submit my own essay for the next workshop. But when the semester ended, I had produced no essay. It seems that I was still that mid-league student from 30 years ago, but the essay was real. So real that I have not seen you since. I've been traveling, Senegal, South Carolina, Palestine, and I'm home now. But with me, I bring my belated assignment. Notes on language and politics on the forest on writing. I've addressed these notes directly to you, though I confess that I am thinking of young writers everywhere whose task is nothing less than doing their part to save the world. It's beautifully written, very insightful. We're following Ta-Nehisi as he's visiting all of these different places mentioned, while also relating things back to how things are in America. I specifically starred like a couple passages. The other one that I really liked was, I'm a writer and a bearer of tradition, a writer and a steward, and what I felt sitting there on top of that hill in residency with myself was that if my writing had soared, my stewardship had faltered. Just the constant internal struggle of not being able to do everything you want to do to the extent that you want to do it or think that you should do it, because if you're doing something wholeheartedly, you are lacking in something else in your life in some way or another. And that part specifically today actually hit me kind of hard, because I had literally journaled this morning about that concept, about how I feel like it is so hard to keep up with everything that I want to and need to be doing, because as soon as I feel like I'm doing well in one part, I feel like I'm slacking in another. You know, how I was feeling and what I was feeling about obviously is much smaller scale to what this book is talking about, but I did like have to pause the audiobook and take a second and be like, wow, that's actually really kind of crazy, kind of serendipitous that I decided to randomly listen to this today, and that was a passage that I was listening to. He touches on so many things that are definitely worth a listen. It is a very short book, and I am widely recommending it. Sammy feels like he really is being neglected and needs some love. But specifically some more passages about obviously the displacement of Palestinian people, the displacement of people across the world that are facing very similar situations, while also talking about like the banning of books in America and relating that to certain imagery and things about specifically like American history, how it's not that we're honoring the past, it's that we're killing a future, is how he put it. And it was just, I think, absolutely brilliant. It was on my 25 books to read in 2025 TBR, and I had put the audiobook on hold at the library, and I got it, so I listened to it, and I am so happy. I'm so happy that I did. I also finished We Love You Bunny this morning. And guys, I know the last time I left you, like, we were feeling good, feeling great. It really was like, I don't really love it, but I'm enjoying it. I'm having an okay time, you know? That didn't continue to happen. Bye, Sammy. He is upset. He wishes that we loved We Love You Bunny, but as a collective, we did not. Here's my thing. I started this video saying that I never needed this book. I didn't need another book in the bunny verse. And that is so very much still how I feel. If you love Bunny, I think that you still could like this book. If you don't love Bunny, I don't think that you would like this book. This is giving us a background of how the bunnies came to be and how they went about their, cultish creations that they did off campus in the MFA program that involves bunnies. And like, we get point of views from every single bunny. We get point of views from one of their creations, which those point of views, with Arius being our point of view, those were my favorite. Those were definitely my favorite. And I still didn't really like it that much. It felt a little bit overwritten, a little bit redundant and repetitive, and just entirely too long. I think that I have associated Mona Awad with a lot of like fever dreamy and magical realism, which is obviously what she excels at. And I think that it wasn't as heavy-handed as I feel like it normally is in this book. And that's fine. It doesn't have to be like to the level of Bunny or to the level of Rouge as the next book. But the ending, of course, was a little bit fever dreamy, a little bit like how does what does that mean? But the overall trajectory of the story, again, it was just too repetitive, and it was pretty predictable, honestly. So how I feel is that I'm not mad that it exists. I'm not mad that I read it, but I 100% never needed it. Like, not at all. I don't think it's a bad book, but I think I am going to give it like a 2.5. Oh, that's so upsetting. If I'm sitting here like really thinking about it and thinking about how I felt while reading it, like, it was hard to keep my attention. I just wanted it to be over, and I was very excited to be done with it. So I feel like that's telling of like a 2.5. in my opinion. So unfortunately, that's where we left off with that. But we did read a bonus book in this video, which is very nice. I'm doing another movie night with my Patreon tonight. We're watching Scream 3, which I'm very excited about. But before then, I want to do a couple hours of writing, and then I do want to get started on my November bullet journal, because the end of the month and the beginning of a new month is always very busy with planning Patreon things and scheduling content and things. And I do have a busy month next month. It's beginning the holiday season, and it is historically chaotic. So definitely need to spend some time doing some planning and prep work. And that usually starts with doing my bullet journal. So I'm going to try to do some of that today after I get a little bit of time in writing. I've been craving it. I need to do it. I want to do it, you know. And I'm thinking about doing a challenge vlog next, which might be stupid because it is the end of the month, beginning of the month chaos, while also being Halloween on Friday. So like, is that stupid? Maybe. Am I going to do it? I want to really bad, so I probably will. But that means I'm going to take this evening off of vlogging and spend a little bit of time doing some things behind the scenes so that maybe I can set myself up for success for the rest of the week in terms of doing a very fun vlog. So I'm gonna write and do some prep work and have a movie night with my patrons, but I hope to see you guys next week. Thank you so much for hanging out for this one. I wish that We Love You Bunny panned out a little bit better. I really do. But that's okay. It is what it is. At the very least, thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me for a little bit. If you are still watching, then leave me the bunny emoji down below in the comments. And let me know how you found We Love You Bunny if you read it, or if you have read Bunny, if you love Bunny, if you hate Bunny. Don't tell me if you hate Bunny. While you're down in the comments, please do subscribe and like the video. It helps me out a lot, and I really appreciate your support. And of course, be kind to one another and happy reading. I'll see you next week. Bye.